Hello, everybody. Welcome along to Sportsbet TV with me, Paul Alster, as I look ahead to Saturday, the 17th of May, which is, of course, Lockinge Day at Newbury, the first Group 1 race for older horses in Britain this season. And it looks a bit a fascinating race. It isn't a race I'll be focusing on, though, but I will be offering you one selection at Newbury, and that's going to be in the 2 o'clock event. If you're new to the channel here at YouTube, please press the red subscribe button just below this screen, and then you'll be able to follow all my selections free of charge and decide for yourself whether it's a horse you might or might not be interested in backing. I try to find horses at a decent each way prices, and over the last nearly 5 years that we've been running the service, we've shown an overall very good profit, even though it has to be said in the last few months things have been pretty challenging. And last week, Mile, who was my selection in the Victoria Cup, showed up well for a long way, but then got a little bit tired and finished out of the frame. So that was a little bit disappointing. I'm hoping that today's selection is going to go better. If you're looking for more selections, then I have 3 lined up for you at Out in Front. And if you want to join the subscription service for that and all the other selections I offer across all the weekend and all the big festival meetings and other races during the week, then you can find the link to join up in the description box just below this screen. Well, the race that I'm concentrating on at Newbury on Saturday is the 2 o'clock, the mile and a quarter London Gold Cup handicap. Now, the going is good to firm in places, and there are 10 runners. Now, this hot event is regularly won by a horse who is quite a bit better than a handicapper, and in the last decade alone, we've seen the likes of Time Test, Defoe, Bay Bridge, and most recently the very smart King's Gambit land the spoils. The form, therefore, is invariably well worth following for all the runners that have run in this race in the coming months. Now, Ryan Moore and Aidan O'Brien have been in absolutely tremendous form since the turn of the month and have taken apart the classic trials, with the exception of the Lion in Winter at the Dante Stakes on Thursday. And they run a horse here called Genealogy, who was a winner of a maiden at Punchestown last October and is likely to go off favourite. He wasn't disgraced when he was 6 to his illustrious stable companion and potential Derby runner Delacroix in the Group 3 Autumn Stakes at Newmarket in October on easy ground. Could easily be good enough to go very close here off an opening handicap mark of 96. Now, Dr. Richard Newland, of course better known as a Grand National winning trainer really, is now sharing the licence with Jamie Insell, and between them they're doing really well with their small flat string, and their maiden Asman Warrior looks the sort who could pay his way now he's switching to handicaps. His second place efforts this term at both Redcar and Leicester suggest he's going to get on the score sheet sooner rather than later, and he may improve for tackling the forecast quicker ground on Saturday. Wave Rider represents Harry Charlton. He has a similar type of profile, although he steps up from 7 furlongs to a mile and a quarter and has stamina to prove. If he stays, he could easily be thereabouts. And the Charlton family have got a very good record in this race. Harry, and of course before that his father, the great Roger Charlton. Now, Nibras is trained by John and Thady Gosden, very highly tried last season, including when well beaten in the Group 1 Futurity Trophy at Doncaster in October. That was on soft ground. He was long odds on when he was only second in a Southwell Novice Stakes on his return last month, which was a big disappointment. And then he found the subsequently disappointing Alpine Trail too good for him in listed company at Newmarket a few weeks ago. There's question marks about Nibras, I'd say. He's dropping into a handicap for the first time. He is respected, but I think on balance, he possibly has a bit to prove now. And so to my selection, well, the horse that really interests me in this race is called Sadad. He's trained by Roger Varian and is the mount of Brazilian-born Silvestre de Souza. And Sadad is by Pinatubo out of a listed mile-and-a-quarter winner. He's related to some really nice horses and I think could be a very decent prospect. He was an impressive winner on his racecourse debut and odds on for a Southwell Mile Novice Stakes in December, and he then finished third to the youthful Opera Barlow at Kempton in February before switching to turf and running very well indeed to be second to a horse I think is a very exciting prospect called Gethin, and that was at Newbury last month. Now, Gethin has since been sidelined with a setback, but he was being spoken of as a potential live Derby contender. So finishing second, albeit more than 3 lengths behind, but still a very good second to Gethin at Newbury, to me suggests that the form is strong. Now, Sadat has been handed an opening handicap mark of 95, which isn't a giveaway, but I think it might be okay. And he represents the yard that actually won this very race in 2017 with the subsequent Group 1 Coronation Cup winner Defoe. Sadat gets my vote. Now, it seems I'm not the only person interested in this horse because at the time of this recording on Friday afternoon, I've already seen in the last few hours the price go from 13 to 2 to 6 to 1, then 11 to 2, and he's now 5 to 1 across the board. And that's not to say he's not going to be backed again. But at 5 to 1 each way, you'll get your money back if he comes in the first three. I'd be very disappointed if he doesn't finish in the frame, and I'm very, very hopeful that he's going to win, possibly at the main expense of Aidan O'Brien's run at Genealogy. So Sadat is my selection for you here at Sportsbet on Saturday. As I said, if you're interested in other selections of mine, you can click on the link in the description box below this screen and consider joining me at Out in Front. But for this weekend, from me, Paul Alster, that's it. So I'll say goodbye and see you same time next week. Bye bye for now.